Good morning, welcome to morning review. Looking at the euro dollar first, and at the moment, yesterday we managed to sell off. We double tops on the 4 hourlies here with a bit of divergence going on. I do wonder if it may have some more weakness, although bigger picture, looking at the daily, is still firmly up. The momentum has been pretty much there and still rising. To quite some extent, so still looking pretty reasonable from that point of view. Not really. The momentum's there, and there's a sort of an element of strength missing. We've not yet sort of seen the RSI topping out here at all, so which makes me think, well, perhaps there's more to be had, but there's still the untouched weekly pivot below. And if we continue to break through and we close below, say, the 240.21, well, maybe we've got more potential to come back to these other moving averages. There are some signs of a bit of dollar strength through the Asian session, but if it remains, we'll see. But for now, we've sort of put some lower highs in yesterday afternoon. We managed to put a lower high in and another lower high in, lower lows at the moment. But we have got the daily pivot on the euro above us, so there is the potential for it to run up to that. And if it starts running up to that, yes, there's a lot of resistance at that point. But if it can break it, then we'd be on for back pushing up to these highs again and continuing in that mode. So there's potential, not quite hit the daily S1 yet. And as I said, there's the bigger picture certainly looks like it's got some more potential, but short term, we certainly had a bit of a retrace here. And if you look over the last two days, it's consolidated around these highs here. Maybe just a consolidation phase before it gets another shove up. We'll see. There's nothing particularly significant out today which is likely to move the euro as such, unless of course Trump says something else. But in terms of general economic data, we've got the German IFO business climate number coming out later, but it's not a big number in terms of moving the markets generally. So we're left to the technicals, and well, we could be reversing here. We'll see. Looking at the pound held up well. Did put this hanging man in yesterday, which bit of a bearish candle. But again, when I was looking at sort of the 4 hour picture, yes, there's sort of a divergence going on at those highs there, but I just wonder if he's just going to push up to those highs again and this time break them. I keep on about this weekly 21, and well, it may still be a draw for the pound. Great recovery yesterday. I mean, at one point it sold off 2/3 of the previous day and recovered, held up towards the end of the day. I'm wondering whether we'll see a further more strength coming through in the pound. I'm still pretty bullish on the pound and still long on the pound. Short term here, well, we've hit the daily pivot, and what I like is we're above the daily pivot. It's whether or not we can break this trend line that sort of sits across the highs here. It starts pushing up above that where it could be on for yesterday's highs, and we're knocking on the door. There's a sort of inverted head and shoulders sort of sitting in that pattern. It's a bit messed up now actually because we broke the right shoulder a bit, but I'm more interested in the number of hits we've had of those highs and whether we can actually push our way through. So that's the bullish side of the picture. Now if it breaks through this hourly 50, well, I've got to start changing my ideas maybe a little bit, but it's the retrace in the whole scheme of things is pretty slim. So I'm mainly bullish on the pound. Dollar yen, sort of looking at this yesterday, and it's just pulled up yesterday as in some upper bands on the 4 hourly here. It's run up now, pushed up a little bit, weakened over the Asian session through into the 4 hourly 50, daily 8 sort of zone, and it's already put a little pivot swing in there on the 4 hourly pattern. It's whether it breaks these lows and continues to the downside. So we sort of seen some retracements through the Asian session, some bit of dollar strength coming through, but whether it will hold, we've got to test out. Now it's already hit the daily pivot. If it comes back down towards that area, we have got the 50, which may provide a bit of support. 34 crossing the 50 there, short-term moving averages crossing the longer term normally suggests that, well, we get a continuation of the upward trend here as opposed to anything else, and it may add quite a lot of support there, but we'll see. But for now, I'm looking at it thinking, well, this could start breaking down. If it can break that 50, could well be on towards yesterday's late afternoon's lows and maybe further. But the opposite side, of course, and if we do see, and we often do see a sort of switch around in the mornings, we have got higher lows, higher highs to the upside in this intermediate time frame, and we may just see a continuation from that point. Aussie dollar, there'll be some people wiping their brow this morning if they retained into the short that Charlie called in the room yesterday. They managed to hang in there. It hit its target of the 4-hourly 50 there on some weak data that came through. The inflation figure came out poorly. It's also hit a weekly pivot I was talking about yesterday. It's got down, cleared that, ticked that box out. So can it go further? Well, potentially, although we'll see. It's there was a lot of signs of weakness. Just looking at the RSI here through these highs, it was certainly showing a bit toppy. It pushed up probably as well as any other currency. And looking at what we're seeing at the moment, probably a bit early because it's a live candle, but with yesterday's candle, perhaps if it starts breaking the lower side there, we could get a bit more downside coming through it yet. But looking at the hourly point of view, the intermediate time frame here, and there's a bit of divergence going on here. Well, perhaps it may have just been oversold through that session. Inflation came out lower than expected here, disappointed the markets, but there's hardly a sort of big picture of increasing interest rates quite yet, so markets may soon get over that. Canadian dollar, well, it did continue its move south yesterday. I mentioned the daily pivot swing there. Eventually in the afternoon, it really did get a kick on there. And it's consolidating where it's sitting at the moment. And the kick on was probably widely helped by Trump's statement of developing a pipeline. That certainly gave it a kicker. Looking from where we are here, we do have the daily pivots on this intermediate zone above us. So any break of the high, this current hourly high, may see a more bullish move back into that. But overall, my preference at the moment is to follow these lower highs, lower lows, and be following on the downside. So maybe a more conservative break of this sort of trend that's running through here, and look for yesterday's lows and maybe the S1. Okay, that's pretty much it there. As I said, news-wise, the only news I've really mentioned was the German data coming out. To be fair, which one bit of data that may affect the Canadian dollar, of course, is the US crude oil inventories, which is out at 330. There's a high correlation with the oil price, so I wouldn't be too shocked if we saw some movement around there. That's it. So have a great one. I'll be back tomorrow. Bye for now.